Wife left me for a guy she met on a dating app. I'm devastated. Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you won't miss another cheating story goes live. I am 36, have only had 2 serious relationships in my life. My first serious girlfriend started in high school and into college. The second was the girl who became the woman that I married. I have never been a ladies' man, but I didn't really try to be when I was younger, so I never really considered whether there was something wrong with me. I met my wife, F35, when we were both teenagers. We began dating in earnest when I was 22 and she was 21. We got married when I was 26. 3 years after we began trying, we had 2 beautiful children, twins. I got a job offer which would move us overseas and we took it. She had suffered PPD shortly after the boys were born and my sex drive was drastically lowered. Months of sleep deprivation will do that to you. Although a lowered sex drive is a well-documented potential effect of new fatherhood on men, my wife silently internalized my lack of interest and I didn't know this until much later. While we were living overseas and away from our families and support systems, she withdrew over the course of about 3 years. At some point she found a man online and began an emotional relationship with him. I have always felt that if she wanted to have physical fun with someone else then I wouldn't stand in her way, but I did have a problem with an emotional attachment. And above all, honesty was a must. Her relationship with him began in secret. She asked me if I would have a problem with her, or even us, having a sexual tryst with a guy she just met on Tinder during our next trip to our home country, and I agreed. I hoped that this was a sign that she was coming out of her self-imposed emotional and physical exile from me and the boys. My sex drive had returned by this point, but I was frequently gently rebuffed. Well, it would appear that I was partly correct concerning this event being emblematic of her coming out of her shell. The problem is that I was very wrong about who she was as a person. It turns out that she was crushing on him hard the first time they met, which she told me she intended to also be the last time they met. And after one sexual encounter she was hooked. She lied beforehand, but she became a different person afterward. I caught her lying to me about him, and she also snuck off for further trysts with him, both when I was with her on our visits home and on the few occasions that she went back alone while I worked and cared for our children. After the second time I caught her lying to me and remaining involved with him, I told her that she had to stop. She said she would leave me and take the boys. If she wanted to leave me, that is fine, but when I chose to become a father I made a promise in my very bones that I would do everything I could to provide the best life for them that I possibly could. I told her that if she didn't want to be my wife that was fine, but I would not just let her take my children from me. She decided to stay and claimed to have broken off contact with him. I was no longer naive enough to actually believe her at this point, but I was willing to play along because I genuinely loved her and desperately wanted it to be true. I caught her once again and she told me that she would be leaving us without taking the children. This fucking broke me, but she is her own person. I didn't like it, but I am not a controlling person. Since she has left, I have had 3 years to take a look at my romantic life and myself in a big picture kind of way. My opportunity for introspection has been very bad for me. I never had to question if I was good enough or deserving of love while I was in a relationship, but now the questions loom. Before my wife left us, she wrote and posted a poetic tribute to her paramour's penis, which I came across inadvertently on Tinder. I only recognized it by the details she included, as she had posted it under a username I didn't know. I asked her and she admitted that it was her. She told me that it was only her flirting and that I was making too big a deal out of it. Much of it centered on praise for the fact that he was uncircumcised. I am circumcised and I have always resented that fact. The infuriating part about this is that I had to fight hard to prevent her from circumcising our children when they were born. I am not well endowed and I have been sensitive about it since my first girlfriend informed me that mine was the smallest of the few she had seen in person. I used to feel like I was at least a satisfactory lover until my wife let slip that she used to fake it. I never knew it, and given how readily she lies, I genuinely can't be sure if I ever actually satisfied her. Maybe she faked it when she got tired of my hands, mouth, and penis. I can't be sure that I have ever given anybody satisfaction. Further introspection. I have never been hit on by a woman. I received one random compliment from a girl while I was in college. She said, "Aw, don't be sad. You are too cute to be sad." Ladies and gentlemen, in my experience it is true that a simple compliment goes a long way for a guy. I remember her to this day, and that took place in 2004. Shortly after my wife left to live with her preferred man, I moved back home, but to a different state. The city where we met and lived held too many painful ghosts for me to ever want to face it again. I got on Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, and I haven't had any success at all. I haven't been on a date in 3 years. I have gained weight, I have lost all of my confidence, I don't have time for my previous hobbies, full-time work and full-time fatherhood preclude most time-consuming endeavors. All I do is wake, work, and care for my children. And I feel that this is it from here on out. I am no longer a man, I am no longer myself, I am just a father. I can't remember what being happy felt like. There may be plenty of fish in the sea, but I have lost my fishing gear. I am not going to kill myself. But I don't really want to keep waking up to this world either. Let's just say I don't wear a lot of sunscreen. It takes so much energy to try to fake feeling human so that I can care for my boys without letting them see me stew in despair. I don't know how successful I am at insulating them from my pain, but I am trying. So damned hard. Here are some of the best comments from our community. I'm sorry you went through that. Fuck online apps, you need to meet people in person. I'd recommend exercise and meditation. Make it a routine. Once you're working out consistently, you will feel a lot more confident both physically and mentally. Your emotions will self-regulate better and you'll feel more motivated. Easier said than done for sure, but that's where it'd start if I were you. I'd also try to find a somewhat social hobby like rock climbing or dancing. You will meet a ton of new people that way, and they will for the most part be fit and healthy. Wishing you all the best, man. You got this. You need to stop with this pity party. You need to be appreciative she didn't stay and just play with your heart and bring you disease and bring strange men around your children. You need to realize that you are a good and strong man and you need to set a better example for your children. Be appreciative she didn't try to take your kids from you and live off of child support from you. This could have gone so far worse. What you need to do is gain perspective. You sit here and list all the things that you feel are mundane. Well, why are they mundane? You have kids. You know how fun kids are? You know how crazy things they do? You need to stop being on autopilot and wake up and give those children a good and fun father. I really don't get how the heck you aren't having the time of your life with you and your children. You don't have someone nagging after you, or being lazy and just another body to feed and take care of. How about you start by living for them, then start working on you? So she abandoned her children to be with Mr. Big Penis? Yeah, she's a piece of shit and you're lucky to be done with her. I'd write a nice ode to a cavernous cunt and make sure she sees it. I'm so sorry this happened to you, but I can tell with how much you put up with that you're a very good man. You deserve love and a good woman. Your ex was not, she was a cheater and a liar, and even worse, she abandoned her children for another man. Don't let her cruel words and actions continue to hurt you because she's still ruining your life to this day. Move on. You deserve so much better. Work on you, getting into a better place mentally and physically, before trying to date. When you're ready, you'll know. Sending good vibes to you. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for any future cheating stories.